What is up, guys? BucklingOne here, and welcome to some Battlefield 1 on my channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video, and there's many reasons for that, mainly due to the fact that I just got sick of playing Black Ops 3, and I really wanted to wait for something new to come out and focus all my attention on that, and I think I had that in Battlefield 1. So I was lucky enough to get invited to the alpha. It was a closed invitation. Not really sure how I got invited, but it was great to be able to be invited and get my hands on it. And this video is literally just a first impressions on what I think of the game, what I think are the good points, the bad points, how possibly it could be improved, how it has excelled, things like that. I'm sure you've probably seen footage of the game from numerous other YouTubers as well who did have access to the alpha, but I just wanted to put out a few videos, the first one being this impressions video, and just give my spin on it, give my take on it, and how I experienced Battlefield 1 in the alpha stage. So the first thing that I noticed is definitely the main user interface when you actually sign in for the first time is very much like Battlefront, which is no surprise really. I mean, DICE did develop Battlefront as well, so of course they're going to be borrowing from their other games. The second thing that I noticed straight away when I first played my first game was the fact that the graphics are unbelievable. They are smashing. I mean, they really struck me, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing on the screen, how good the graphics were, and I was just really happy with what I was seeing. I mean, the level of detail is incredible. You even see like drops of rain on your gun as you're running around, which is just mind-blowing altogether. Next was the audio. I mean, again, this is a game developed by DICE, so the expectations for audio are extremely high, and I have to say that they did not disappoint whatsoever. Everything sounds incredible. Explosions, the ambience when you're running around, even the sounds of the weapons being shot are absolutely top notch. The soldier callouts as well sound great. They're very distinguishable. You can hear which direction they're coming from, as well as footsteps and things like that as well. So it is that the sound design is just absolutely top notch, and again, I'd expect no less from DICE whatsoever. Gameplay itself is, I'm not sure really how to explain it. I suppose different is probably the best way to explain it. Different from any other Battlefield game really, especially 3 and 4, because there's no more running around like crazy one-on-one gunfights where you can outgun your opponent, things like that. I found that in order to be good at Battlefield 1, you have to take things slower. You can't just run around from objective to objective. You have to really take things slower, slow your game down, check your corners a lot more. There's a lot more hiding places where the enemies can be, and that's really immersive actually as well, because it really kind of puts you in the mindset of how a soldier in World War I would have actually felt if they were in this situation. So it's quite a nice thing to kind of think about when you're actually playing the game, is if a soldier was in this situation in World War I, what would they be doing? And I found myself thinking about that very same thing quite a lot, especially if I was trying to take an objective. Which way should I approach it? There's a hill there. Should I approach it from the hill? Should I approach it from the side that has more cover? Am I just going to get up and sprint across like a crazy person and probably get killed? You know, it is a fun kind of thing to think about, and definitely Battlefield 1 really made me think about the gameplay more tactically than any other Battlefield I've played before. Tying into that then as well is the actual weapons themselves. They are all based off World War I weapons. They are authentic World War I weapons, and that means that the technology available in World War I wasn't as advanced as even World War II. So you're going to be relying a lot on semi-automatic rifles. There are a couple of automatic rifles that were available in the alpha, but mostly either bolt action or semi-automatic. There's one shotgun as well, and there is a couple of automatic rifles and machine gun, but they're few and far between. As well as that then as well, going back onto the tech, things like sights are very rudimentary. They're not what you would expect as say an ACOG sight or anything like that. There is none of that because it's all based off of World War I tech. So the sights are very primitive. I mean, you do have your sights, your scopes on say your sniper rifles, you can have scopes on them. You can also have scopes on the rifles the medic has, and they're pretty much all single shot rifles. You can have scopes on them as well. What I did find interesting was that at least in the alpha, every weapon came with two different kind of preset loadouts. So you'd have say one that had a trench configuration, which was more kind of short distance up in your face kind of configuration, and then you had say the accuracy configuration, which gave it a higher magnification optic. And that was interesting to me because of the way that the tech is. I'm wondering how DICE are going to approach weapon customization, because that's a huge part of the Battlefield series. So I really want to see how they take this on and what they're going to do to customize the weapons, because I did see in the menus that there was a space to customize the setup of the gun, but it wasn't available in the alpha, which is understandable. We might get to see a bit in the beta whenever that does come out, but for now there's not very many details on it, but it will be very interesting to see how they manage that. One of the downfalls for me was just in regards to the network connectivity. I did experience some rubber banding, now nowhere near as much as what I was used to before with say Battlefield 3 and especially 4. It is to be expected again because it's an alpha, so I'm not really going to really come down hard on heavy on the things that stood out to be bad for me. But I did experience some rubber banding, some connectivity issues to the servers. Sometimes what would happen is my actual game would time out, but everything was still moving around me, but I just couldn't move. The game wouldn't accept any input from my controller. I just was literally standing still. So I was just stood there waiting for someone to come up and shoot me, which was frustrating, but again, it's understandable because of the way that it's an alpha. So you expect things to go wrong, and you shouldn't really moan about them too much when they do go wrong, and that's the reason for the alpha, so we can report these things back to DICE and make sure these things get fixed for the game. The other thing that really wasn't really for me was the fog. They have added say like an atmospheric volumetric fog into the game, which in theory sounds like a good idea. I mean, it does make things more immersive and makes things a little bit more frantic, because you cannot see very far in front of you. And when I mean you can't see very far in front of you, you cannot see very far in front of you at all. And that's my main concern with the fog. The way it is at the moment is that you're just not able to see far enough. It's especially if you're say a sniper, and on the map that we got to play in the alpha, if you're a sniper, you want to be taking advantage of those long sight lines, because otherwise your sniper rifle is pretty much rendered useless. But if there's fog, and if the fog is that dense and that thick, you're not going to want to play as the sniper class, because you won't be able to see those sight lines with the fog obscuring your view and hiding any enemy players. Now I know that this is a realistic thing as well, and this does happen, but for the sake of gameplay and the flow of the gameplay, I think they should maybe tone it down just a little, just to see, you know, the difference between how it was in the alpha. Maybe if they can change it up a little bit for the beta, just to see, and then get feedback on that. That's something that I think should be done. Other than that, I mean, everything is great. One thing that I really noticed as well was you can actually now hop over walls that are head height. So no more getting to a wall and then being like, oh, I can't jump over because it's too high. If you get to a wall and it's about head height, you can actually press the jump button and your soldier will hop up and climb over, which is really, really cool. Again, the graphics really on point. Sound design was amazing. I'm not really going to get too much into like the vehicles and things like that. I'll save that for another video, but I really did enjoy playing with the vehicles as well. The fighter planes and the tanks are quite interesting at the moment, to say the least. But I will do a separate video on the actual vehicles in the alpha and what to expect, and we'll have a look at them more in depth. But as I was saying, guys, this is just an impressions video. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what I felt of the alpha. I will be making more videos on the alpha soon, so please do keep an eye out for them. And I will be making more videos in general as time goes on now. But that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name is BucklingOne, and I'll see you in my next video.